he's fast as anything. Like, there's a reason he's called Fireball. It's stressful how fast he is.
Yeah.
Because he'll go to hit the ropes, and you're like, you actually we didn't do it in the match, but like to sleep leap, kind of like essentially try trip the person up or like bypass the person. Some people, they kind of like then laissez-faire, like, oh, I'm gonna hit the ropes, I'm gonna come back, and he's like, yeah. Like it's like a jump scare when he's coming back at you.
This man is the first returning guest of the Last Minute Wrestling podcast. You may know him mostly because I discovered. I always say I discovered him. That's the main reason people know Ian Skinner. Ian, welcome back to the show. How are you doing, mate?
Thank you very much. And now you can see me this time, not just audio format. We were saying this. I think it must have been like a couple episodes after me that you started doing the in-person Zoom call type ones, because I think the first time we spoke it was like April.
It was during lockdown,
right at the start of lockdown, near enough, where it was essentially Zoom wasn't as big as it became over the last year. But yeah, it's very good to see you, and I welcome all those who are listening. How long's it been? A couple.
It's been like 18 months, I think.
Wow, 18 months.
18 months. Wow. How many things change in 18 months? You tell me, because you're on the roll of your career so far. You've been having so many fucking great matches, man.
All right, watch your language, okay? Kids are listening.
Oh yeah, okay. Come on, man. Sorry. Sorry, kids. Sorry. But first of all, before we touch on your matches, I want to know where are you at the moment, because for the people who aren't watching this on YouTube but are just listening to, Ian at the moment is like talking to me from Twin Peaks or something like that. You know, the room,
from the red room. Yeah, I tell you what, this is also something that you didn't see last time. Hold up, I'll get my torch out because we're in the vibe chamber right now, the Ian Skinner vibe chamber. But there's something that you'll love, right? So obviously, I've always talked about my love. You see that? You see that picture?
Yeah. Okay. It is.
What that is?
No, I can't decipher that. Sorry for the listeners, but I'm sure Ian will explain in a minute.
It's a picture of Katsuyori Shibata that my friend. He actually drew it for me hand by Sharpie. Yeah, obviously, you didn't get the benefit of seeing that last time, but yeah, that's something that goes on in my living room.
Yeah, if you want to go back and listen to episode number 14 of the Last Minute Wrestling podcast, the first time that Ian came on the show, we spent like half of it talking about Katsuyori Shibata and his chest tattoo. So we won't be doing that this time. You gotta go back to listen to that episode. We already covered that ground.
If you want to hear how I got into wrestling and all the usual questions, okay, go back to that episode, fill your boots, or listen to just any other podcast that I've been on, unless it's part 2 of the SWN, which I think is my favorite podcast I've ever done, because
so now Billy, we have a challenge. We have a challenge with Billy. Fuck Billy Strachan. Fuck him.
No. I think this will be on a different level, Frank. Mainly for the simple fact that in that second episode was I asked all the questions and none of them were wrestling related. There were questions like, hey, ever done a Ouija board before? You know, stuff that's just dumb.
Yeah, dumb.
So that's why it's my favorite. But this will be my favorite for a different reason, of course. Sorry, I totally spearheaded a tangent. You were asking me where I am. I'm in the vibe chamber. Yes. Yeah.
You're clearly there. And I'm kind of scared at the moment because of that, but okay, we can keep on going. So I was saying at the beginning, you're on the roll of your career so far. Can I say roll of your career? Because I think I can. And
I'd say and I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
That's my show. I do whatever the hell I want. So you had like 3 important matches, kind of in a span of a month and a half, I think. The first one I want to talk is with my friend and yours at this point, Francesco Akira. When he first came to ICW, you were his debut match in ICW, right?
I was, yeah.
Okay,
And
tell
then
me
his
everything
and
about
then
this.
his second match was for the ICW Zero G Championship. So I don't know whether I'm a stepping stone to that, because I wasn't told that I was the #1 contender, but then one guy beats me and all of a sudden he's got a championship match.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we're trying to show out some respect to the international talent who are coming in and performing at this top tier level.
Of course.
But come on, guys, throw a guy a bone,
Exactly. And I think you know that when we recorded the first interview a year and a half ago, I did an interview with him on the same day.
Yeah.
So you two are destined to do this forever. You know that.
Yeah. As alongside that as well, you've also interviewed Mike Bailey, who I've gotten really close with in the last half a year. He's given me some personal match feedback. He as well was going to face Francesco Akira. Before he had gotten injured as well. So that's
but let's talk about your match with Francesco Akira.
It was great to just hear like meeting him for the first time. I was excited for this match, unlike any other match I'd done before, because I believe this was my first kind of time facing an imported talent. As well, for someone who is training in the school of All Japan. It won the Junior Cup, won the Junior Heavyweight Championship as well. It was such a big moment for me, and I was just excited. I literally just got down. I was like, cool. What do you want to do?
What do you want to do? I'll let you plan out everything.
But it was great to chat back and forth with him, and I think he was maybe stressed because he hadn't been on an ICW before, so he doesn't know that the way that they're taped. Some of the shows are you'll do 2 episodes in one session. Yeah. So we were in the second episode before the main event.
Okay.
Whereas he was like, "Oh, when's the main event on?" And it's like, "Oh, it's main event's just going on now." And he's like, "Oh fuck, we should." And it's like, "Oh no, this is main event episode 1. We still have time.
Yeah,
we still have time to work stuff out." But yeah, it was funny because it sounds silly, but I was getting a haircut at the time when he arrived, so people were walking around like, "Oh, your opponent's waiting by the ring for you." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm getting a haircut. I'll be there in a minute."
You big leagued him.
No, I mean. There's another funny thing is that there was an issue with the transport. I had to get a taxi over. There was an issue with that, and I wasn't checking my phone because it's just show day. We're discussing Thatcher's cabinet stuff, and then I just look at my phone. I just have a message from Luca DePazzi, and he's like, "Hey, just so you know, Akira's trying to reach out to you." I'm like, "Okay," and then so that it was just as if Francesco was just like, who's an Italian I know? Luca, you faced Skinner before.
Yeah.
But then it all came together extremely well. I'm happy with I can go through the process for planning the match, but it's kind of boring in all senses. I feel like it watching the match back, it was on another level entirely. I felt that I was doing my best out there. Even during the entrance, I'm like, damn, I'm looking in the best shape I've been in a while. A lot of people have a lot of positive things to say. Even the Kings of the North. I don't know if they'll maybe come after me for saying it, but they're lovely guys. They had so many good things to say backstage and little bits of feedback that I was just immediately backstage. I'm like, "Hey man, what do you guys think?" And they're just like, "Oh, it's one little thing that you could change and it'd be perfect." And I'm like, "Nah, damn." But it's so I was really happy with that match. And the annoying part is because the tapings are the way they are, is 1 episode, 2 episodes. We're always at least 4 weeks behind. So on content. So essentially, I have the match. Everyone's like, "Oh, that was great. That was brilliant. Whatever." And then I have to wait 4 weeks for me to watch it. I mean, as much as I've experienced it, I'm the kind of guy who's like, "Cool, you've given me feedback. I want to look at it and then assess myself on that feedback." But now it's to the point in which it's like, "Cool, I'll wait 4 weeks." And then I watch the match and I go, "Oh, I didn't know I did that." Just
But that must have been intriguing to mix up with someone coming from Japan. I mean, just the intensity of it must have been somewhat different from what you used to, right?
Yeah. He's fast as anything. There's a reason he's called Fireball. It's stressful how fast he is.
Yeah.
Because he'll go to hit the ropes, and you actually we didn't do it in the match, but like to sleep leap, kind of like essentially try trip the person up or like bypass the person. Some people, they kind of like then laissez-faire, like, oh, I'm gonna hit the ropes, I'm gonna come back, and he's like, yeah. Like it's like a jump scare when he's coming back at you. So you can't be laissez-faire with him. You do have to kind of like have your wits about you and be ready to move, because he's gonna be coming at you, and if you don't move, then something's gonna happen.
Yeah. Was that like cardio wise the most difficult match you had until that point?
No. I'm one side, so I'd say I'm a fairly good cardio guy. I'm gonna say that, and then like a couple weeks time, someone's gonna like, I'm gonna be in with like Robbie X or something like next year, and we're like, I like to keep my cardio up, because mainly the cardio is like the one thing that I think when we came back from the lockdown to do the tapings, that was the first thing that kind of hit me, was like the cardio and having to get used to that. And I think that before the tapings were regular, because the tapings weren't, they'd be like, oh, we'll do a block here and a block here and a block here and a block here. With the gyms closed over December, that was the worst part, because I felt like I was hitting my stride going into the 0G championship tournament. Then gyms were closed, a couple months go by, we come back, and I'm like, cool, I need to start from square one over again, because there's nothing like in-ring cardio other than in-ring cardio. So the only way you can get good at that and consistent at that is by consistently doing it. And being in the gym as well, you also can trust your cardio there. But yeah, I like to think I kept up with Akira, or at least, almost like tailed behind him.
Did you get any feedback from him?
I'm trying to think. There's nothing that's coming to mind right now, mainly because I've just had I've had other bits of feedback, kind of like spitball in between. I'm sure I got little bits of feedback, but I can't remember specifically what it was. But I think that for overall, he was like fairly happy with the match. As was I, watching it back as well. Because
Akira is kind of a silent guy, even when we spoke in Italian a couple of months back when I interviewed him for PWI. He wasn't really like too much talkative guy. Is one of those people that likes to show other than tell, this kind of stuff. So I wanted to know if it was any different, maybe discussing the match or something like that.
No, I think again, he was very much he was very much kind of like he'd say what was needed to be said and nothing more. But I put that down to potentially language barrier. Obviously he's worked over in the UK before, but I think at this point, if I was fluent in Italian, in Japanese, and then in English as well, I'd be like, I just need to I can barely speak my own English language. My first language is gibberish for all intents and purposes. So English is hard enough for me as it is, but and I think that's maybe something that I needed as well, because I need to go, hey, just tell me what needs to be said, because I'll overtalk. I'm an overtalker. What can I say?
What can I say? That's why you're a great guest for a podcast. That's why everybody wants a piece of you. That's it. Listen, mate. Now for the past few months, at the moment, you've been involved in a certain cabinet, and that has led you to quite a prominent spot in ICW so far. tell me a little bit how this idea started, because when I first saw you as a part of the cabinet, I was like, what? That felt so out of character to me. But I think you played your role to fit in the role of the baddie, basically.
Yeah. Obviously, so I've done another podcast where I did like an entire like kayfabe like promo explanation of this. So I think I can now give like the Sean explanation of it. It's essentially it's the role that I was given the feedback during the tapings that I was like, you should be a heel. And I think it was after my match with Logan Smith or after my match with Craig Anthony, or maybe it was like both. Like I think it was after my match with Craig Anthony. They're like, yeah, no, definitely some heel work there you can do. And then from that point on, they're like, well, how do we write a heel character? But also not just like, oh, Ian Skinner turns heel and now he's a heel guy. How do you also build up other people in that as well?
Yeah,
a faction is the easiest way to do it.
Yeah,
Thatcher Wright has a great character there that even without doing anything. All we like at these shows, all we need to do is play our music, and the tide turns, the atmosphere changes. And at first, maybe I was like still trying to find my feet with where does my character sit in this. But I believe it was after the match, or when when audiences came back after my match with Shay Monet, that I really found the feet of what the character could and should be. Because beyond that, I believe we just did a couple tag matches. So me and Charles Rice, and I had a couple singles matches where maybe with John Tretton and Shay Monet, where essentially it was kind of getting their characters over, but also how does my heel work in a singles match? But then when the crowds came back, it just entirely changed. I think another great match that I had as well as a good single showing of what I can do was with Andy Wilde as well. I'd say that was another highlight match of mine. I'd love to run that back. But yeah, once the audiences came back, that's when I feel like the character really, and I was doing little things maybe when I was doing managing spots or just coming out with them, that people were like, oh, keep doing that, that's good, I like that. So essentially that's where the birth of the British Psycho character came from. Where I'm like, okay, my style of wrestling is almost it's aggressive, there's a point where it's a bit twisted. At a certain point, it is just kind of you can see the trade-off where sometimes I'll trade off and I'll be laughing it off, but then oh god, I'm fighting back. Where maybe it's not as simple oh, this guy he's a conservative person, he's a parliamentary member. No, I'm someone who's just vicious. Vicious execution of the basics? I think that's a term that I like to kind of think of. Vicious execution of the basics. Bit of a tongue twister, but
well,
along those lines.
But that describes the character quite well. I've always envisioned you some some of a cool laid back guy, a la Matt Riddle, for example, just to give you an idea. So someone that can kick you in the face pretty hard, but also is this coolness factor, this kind of stuff. But as I said, you've been doing great with this new persona, and you had the chance to debut at Fear and Loathing. That was your first Fear and Loathing match, right? Because the other time we talked. I remember that you were in attendance of that event a few years back, and now you're on the other side of the barricade, man.
It's unreal. There's actually a picture from the year that I was in the crowd for Fear and Loathing. And there's also Charles. There's a picture of him. He was taking a dive from someone, and he was part of the ring crew catching the dive. And there was a picture I posted on Facebook of us that it's more for private use of me and Charles at the event. And we're just it's when we're all dressed up nice for the first night one. with the Barrowland sign behind us.
Yeah.
And I posted up like the Paul Rudd on hot ones meme where he's like, hey, look at us. Who'd have thought we'd be here? Like, I think that kind of encapsulates it. Like, who'd have thought that, like, especially when these tapings started, me and Charlie were just like maybe two people who weren't getting we weren't getting all the wins that we should. But as soon as we've been aligned with this faction, we've had big matches. You know, Charles has faced, BT Gunn, he's faced Jackson in like singles competition. I faced Andy Wild, Francesco Akira. And now we've got this big marquee match. It's on the t-shirt. You know, our names are on that t-shirt. I've got the t-shirt as well. I bought it. It's got all our names, and then we're one of the marquee matches for night 2. You just wouldn't see it happening. I think as well, even going back to our first interview, I'm sure you were asking about like, well, ICW's on the WWE network. Do you think you'll ever be appearing there? And I was like, probably not, or maybe in like a couple years time. And now,
that's basically how we all can watch your matches. That's incredible. That is great.
Or
Peacock if you're an American listener, which happens to be the vast majority of this podcast, but still. but still, so go on Peacock and search Ian Skinner,
or even if you go on the WWE network, if you have a WWE network, if you just search Ian, I think I'm the first person to come up.
You see,
it's like I'm the only Ian in wrestling. I'm not the only Skinner, but I'm the only Ian.
Probably. At this point, yeah, probably. But
little tangent for yourself as well when you're speaking about kind of like how you imagine my character versus the character that I had in ICW.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the match with Aspen Faith from Discovery or whether you're gonna.
Oh no, I didn't have the chance to check it.
So Discovery Wrestling put up their entire show up on YouTube recently, and now going off of the top of like how my character is, versus how it's perceived, I like to think there's now like an Ian Skinner multiverse.
Yeah.
Because ultimately in Discovery Wrestling, I'm not the Thatcher's Cabinet Ian Skinner. I'm the kick-ass, the pure energy Ian Skinner.
Yeah.
So there's what hopefully one day British Psycho Ian Skinner will face off against kick-ass Ian Skinner, and that will be the Spider-Man meme come to life. Exactly.
Speaking of memes, I've had another guest a few months back that said that wanted to face you and to be the meme lord or something like that. I don't recall. Do you have
the world heavyweight meme champion? Yeah,
the world heavyweight meme champion. Yeah, exactly. That's a thing. Do you have anything you want to say to our friend Alex Webb?
Alex Webb, I love his YouTube videos. Like, I said, like, check out his YouTube videos because I do a bit of like Premiere Pro and like video editing. I know how many keyframes he has to go through to just get the little bits that will make just make you chuckle, and just sometimes if you're just looking away, you'll miss
you'll miss it.
Jokes, and you'll come back and you're like, oh, okay, it's not. Oh, the level of detail he has going on there is great. And there's a couple memes that I've sent him that he has used. I think my favorite one was, I can't remember what video it was, but there's one where it's Cheems the dog, and he's on the phone, and it's Cheems nuts, like the D's nuts meme mixed with Cheems. It's postmodern as fuck. Is it
postmodern?
Speaking of postmodern, I don't know whether you'll love this or whether you'll hate this. There was a podcast that recently came out with a comedian called Tim Heidecker, and it's almost a parody of how podcasting works. It's almost like he's doing an impression of Joe Rogan, pretty much. It's available free on YouTube. The podcast is 12 hours long. It was streamed live because it's an hour long, but it just starts looping because they just say nothing. There's nothing of value said. They just keep going around in circles. They keep going like, wow, that's just crazy. And when you think about what we were doing like years ago versus what we're doing now, the perception and the response to that is just, it's upside down, They're taking the rule book and they're just tearing it up. If you're like that, check out Tim Heidecker.
I'll make sure to check that. But coming back to our previous question, you had your debut at Fear and Loathing and at the Barrowland, which is an historical venue of Glasgow, if I'm not mistaken. And what was your feelings right before walking through the curtain?
It's hard to say. I think like it only hit me before the show started, and it was I was there night one, and we went out for Thatcher's match.
Yeah,
and that was fine.
Yeah,
but is when we had the booking meeting before, everyone told what was happening. I then just walked backstage and just sat next to like an equipment box and just had to meditate, because I'm like, wow, this is happening. Damn. But then like watching all the matches, and the matches, it's almost as if they went in super speed. The matches before us, just boom, 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 and then just right before our match, just all the nerves dissipated as soon as we hit out that curtain. Gone.
Yeah.
And we were just in the moment.
And you faced Jack Jester, which is a veteran of the Scottish indie scene and of ICW, and Shaz Samuels, who is now on NXT UK, was coming back to reform the Kinky Party. That must have been something. You're facing pretty big names so far. Yeah.
The audience reaction was something else. Like, you knew that it's like, I'm sure there was like in the videos, people, they were teasing it. But yeah, we didn't even, we weren't expecting it. And then that music hit, the crowd went up, and I don't think they came down until the music had stopped and Shah and Jester had left, because I feel like they were just like on fire the entire match.
Yeah. Was that one of the matches of the night where according to your opinion, you think that the crowd was most on fire?
Yeah, I'd say like it was the most consistent, because most kind of wrestling matches have the peaks and troughs.
Yes.
Of like, oh, the bad guys winning, oh, the good guys winning, the other way, right? Where the bad guys win, good guys win.
Yeah.
No, good guys winning,
bad guys win.
Yeah. But it flips and flops, and then there's maybe like moments in between where there's a bit of chatter, and then something cool happens, and people go, "Whoa, okay, I'm back in, I'm engaged." I felt like for this entire match, everyone was just like engaged the entire time, because it didn't feel that long, unless we did like a 20-minute classic, but it didn't feel like that long of a match.
Yeah.
So it's probably a lot easier for them, because I don't think there were any points in which like the energy was brought down. I feel like it was just kind of like action, boom.
Yeah. And match number 3 that I would like to mention, where you had as recently as 2 days ago from where we are recording, like if I'm not mistaken, Discovery Wrestling versus Mark Haskins.
Yeah.
Man. How? I don't have any words, as you can hear.
Yeah. I don't even, I'm honored, I'm privileged to have been chosen for this match, because initially it was the match was billed as Aspen Faith versus Mark Haskins, and I was meant to be in the Disco Fatal 4-Way match.
Yeah.
But I believe Aspen injured his hand in some way, shape, or form. So first thing I did when I arrived at the venue, I was told that, hey, gonna put you in with Haskins. I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, so that's another one where I had to kind of like sit down and meditate to just like bring all the nerve down, because it was like essentially just someone who was just playing static in my ears. I'm like, cool. But it was brilliant. It was great to like work together. Again, I feel like everyone was saying so many good things about the match. I cannot wait to watch it back.
You still haven't?
Yeah, I've got video footage of it, but it's only like partial, like little bits here and there of it. But I want to see the entire matches, the entire package, because it's like, you can't just watch Star Wars from like the middle point onwards.
Yeah.
You need to watch the entire like cool. I need to watch, this to here. So you can get the full story so that it can build and build and like trough and build and trough and build. But yeah, I'm extremely happy with how that match came out, and I'm honored that I was chosen. Like, because there were so many other people on that show who could have fit the bill.
Yeah.
I do feel that I was the right pick because I felt like we had the match that was maybe needed for the crowd at that point. Like we were having the Mark Haskins style match.
Yeah.
Again, he's another guy, great cardio, great speed with go, 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 go.
Yeah.
That was a real test of my cardio again as well. But I like to think that I kept up. But yeah, I'm glad that I got that opportunity. And especially that fact it just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, you're way too modest, man. I see everyone is tweeting out that was the match of the night. I wasn't there, of course. I didn't have the chance to see it live, but a lot of people are hinting at that. And just like you knew on that day that you were facing Mark Haskins, that was true the other way around, I think, for him as well. And of course, I mean, of course, he is a veteran. Has been in the Ring of Honor. Has been all over the place, basically. So but that meant that you two had to interact, and maybe I don't know, he gave you some feedbacks or stuff like that, or something that you could work to become even better than what you were already capable of.
Literally, I sat down and just listened to him for like 10 minutes after the match, just like picking his brain, which is brilliant. My leg and my abdominal still hurt. That the finish with the sharpshooter he does, that is no joke. When people say, "Oh, wrestling's fake," I'm like, no, guys. You can say it's fake all you want, but my abs beg to. Actually, I'm sure. Do I still have a little? It's good. Yeah. No, I used to have like a big red mark on my neck as well from one of the slaps that were given out in that match. But yeah, I'm over the moon with that. In all honesty.
Yeah. Any particular
really,
insight
like,
that
end of a match, like end of the year, I feel like it's at the end.
Yeah, man, you're as I said since the beginning, you're on a tear lately, and that's been a hell of a 2021 because not many people, especially in Europe, had the chance to have as many matches as you had. I think because
fun fact. So I noted down all my matches, and before we'd come back at the end of like in September. I had done at least about 60% of my career had been in front of no fans.
Whoa.
Right?
That's a cool stat.
Yeah. So I was just funny to look at. I'm just because I was like, that's something I need to do, like get an Excel document where I'm like, cool, this was the date, this was the venue, this was who I was against. And then I was like, oh, cool, how about I highlight all the ones that were done in front of no fans? I'm like, oh shit, that's more than half.
But how many matches do you have so far this year?
Oh, this year, I don't have the Excel document. I'll get back to you on that one. You can probably check cage match because I now have a cage match profile.
Yeah, of course.
Cool.
Yeah, super. Yeah, you're a big time player. Yeah.
But I'm going to guess around maybe like 20.
Okay, that's which is above the average for many European wrestlers. Consider the year that we are. I mean, we come off of the pandemic. There was like no live crowd for 6 months or something like that. So yeah, that's a pretty good percentage. Pretty good number of matches to have. Yeah, absolutely. And anything planned already for 2022?
2022, nothing yet. I think I've got a couple dates in the diary, but I'll be like, my main thing right now is I think I mentioned it in 2020 when I was like, cool, what my 2020 was to get out to WXW, go back to Ireland, essentially get over to all these places where I'm gonna want to learn more.
Yeah.
So that's been still stunted. But hopefully going into 2022, here's a tagline, right? 2022 is not going to be a good year. 2022 is going to be a kick-ass year. Boom. There we go.
There it is. Here it is. The headline.
Cradle pile driver. But yeah, I want to get over to Ireland, get down to some places in England, wrestle more people, because there's so many people that are absolutely popping on the scene right now. Especially in ICW. There's so many faces I've not seen in ICW that I'm like, oh, I could test myself. Martin Kirby, for one.
Oh yeah, of course. He came back. Yeah.
Daz Black, Leighton Buzzard. I remember Martin Kirby tweeting that like Daz Black and Leighton Buzzard and someone else were the future of Scottish wrestling. So I feel like there's still that measuring stick in place. So I'm ready whenever he is. I know he's just gotten his chest kicked in by Ridgeway last night. That's just dating this episode. So maybe give him some time to rest off so he's not fighting me at 80%. Get into string with people like Ridgeway as well. Get to see Mike Bailey in person. That'd be one. Whilst he's over here, it'd be lovely to see him.
Tell me a little bit about that. About that friendship that started with you and Mike.
So there's an Italian connection to this as well. So he did so I messaged him after because he'd done a seminar previously.
Yeah.
In Scotland, and then I messaged him after your thing. I was like, oh, hey, cooking with Speedball. He talked about that cookbook. And then he did a seminar with Italian Wrestling Association.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, well, if you guys want to reach out for match feedback, I'm welcome to do that. I'm like, well, I'm jumping on that. So then as well, he also took to Twitch a lot more. Twitch became his new major platform, and now he has the Friday Night Speedball show. Friday Night Speedball, Thursday Night Speedball. So I was there for the inception of that. So I'm an avid peruser of his Twitch, but also we keep in contact. When he was leading up to his match with Big Ben, I was chatting with them both, letting them, hyping them up. And now I'm just excited that he's back over working Rev Pro a lot more, which will be good. The restrictions have changed now, which is a bit annoying. However, it'd be good to see him at some point. And as much as I'd like to have a match with him, I also don't want to get kicked by him, because I've heard his kicks are worse than Walter's chops, which make me
rethink your priorities.
I mean, I've taken a lot of chops. I've not taken a Walter chop before. I've not taken a BT gun chop either, and I've heard that they're comparative. So that's one thing I'm scared of. There's only three things I'm scared of, right? Pirates, wasps, and chops. That's the three things.
No sharks. You're not scared of sharks.
Mate, sharks are just like fish dogs.
Yeah. That's literally what we call it in Italian, fish dogs.
Yeah.
That's true. That is true.
Yo, really?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, pesce cane, fish dog. Literally fish dog.
Wait, do Italians have sharks?
Just the small one.
Okay.
I don't even know how their name is in English, but they are 1 meter, 1.5 meters maximum. Yeah.
Are they the little ones that can flop along the water? I've seen the ones where there's videos of aquariums where they try jump out of the aquarium. They have to keep pushing the sharks back in. Yeah,
probably. There are a few of them in the Mediterranean Sea. So yeah, but we'll do a podcast about sharks next time.
Yeah, we can watch the movie Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah.
And then just do a podcast movie review of that and just say, hey, yo, this film, good.
And that's it.
End. Just end podcast.
That's it.
A 5-second podcast.
Yeah. That will be a great format. I think it could catch on.
Yo, I might do that. I might start a podcast. It's movie reviews, but I'm just This film's good. Thanks for watching, and if you want to subscribe to
yeah 5-second podcast, and it takes like 5 hours editing.
Yeah, because I want to just get the compression correct. I was like, oh, you can hear a little bit of background in there. A little bit too much. You need to get okay, a little bit. Yeah. Okay, let's cut that and let's put that in.
Yeah, that's been a great chat. Great to catch up with you after a year and a half and see how your career progressed. Let's see you in a year and a half, let's say. And plug all of your shit, mate.
Are you like a therapist? Like, well, you've been doing really well since we last met. Let's meet in 6 months and let's just see how you're doing.
Yeah.
Then I come back, I'm addicted to meth. I'm like, the wrestling didn't work out for me anymore.
You wouldn't be the first one.
Oh,
that was
deep cut.
That was deep. Yeah. So, plug all of your shit.
At Ian Skinner PW on all things, Twitter, Instagram. They're the main two you should follow, because on Instagram you'll see pictures of me and you'll go, wow, cool guy, bet he has tons of friends. Twitter, you'll be like, wow, that's a cool tweet, like, retweet, quote tweet, hey, I bet this guy has tons of friends. TikTok, I do stuff on TikTok sometimes. I mainly use it to find videos of dogs, or videos of dogs that speak. When we go, and they're like, oh, it says hello. Wow.
Yeah. Or fish dogs.
Fish dogs. Yeah. That's my two tiers.
Yeah. Dogs.
Fish dogs. My top 3 things in life: fish, dogs, fish dogs.
Yeah.
That's it. You can also I have a Twitch. Maybe I'll come back, maybe I won't, but you'll find me in like Speedball, Big Ben is Angry, sometimes Shea Purse's chat. You'll find me perusing around Twitch sometimes. Ginger Pimpernel, he's really good. He does the Fire Pro. He got me into Fire Pro. I just bought it. It was like 2 a.m. I was like, I'm gonna download Parallels onto my Mac and then get Steam and then download Fire Pro. So I spent like all the DLC as well. Probably wasn't a smart decision, but I've done it now, so I'm into Fire Pro. So like, if you is there anything else I can plug? I do merch. If you want a t-shirt, I've got like some t-shirt designs. Hit me up in the DMs if you want to sort a t-shirt or a hoodie. Want to get beanies sorted. Someone said I should get beanies done, so I'm like, I'm looking to beanies. So winter,
why not?
Winter,
Scotland. It's quite cold. Yeah, you should need Ian Skinner beanie, definitely, mate. Thank you so much, and say hello to all of your abs, because I've seen a couple of pictures lately that your abs are doing fantastic. So
abs are just an illusion, okay? This is like, for all the people with the body image issues, I have them as well. Listen, abs are just an illusion. It's all about lighting, tensing. But also there is work to be put into it as well. But if you look at that picture, there's like, I've got tons of pictures from that photo session. That's the best one because it's just the way it's lit. Okay.
Yeah. That's it. That's the secret.
Doesn't stop me from posting it. Okay, guys.
For those sweet dopamine hit of the Instagram likes. I know. I know the feeling. I post my abs all the time. You should know that. You follow me.
But the peeps who are out there and being like, oh man, they've got, it's like the body standards. Yeah, listen, it's like there's so much magic and witchcraft that goes into photos where your abs look good.
Yeah.
Keep working hard, keep eating good, and then one day you'll find that right lighting spot and you'll be like, oh, this shit hit different. That's my one swear of this episode. Because it's necessary.
Is shit a swearing?
I say it is.
Come on.
I consider crap a swear. Like,
come on. What's Catholic school? Come on.
No, but
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Thank you very much for having me, man.
Thank you so much. That was a lot of fun. Let's catch up in another 18 months. Ciao.
Whoa.